to buy petrol, which would be used to set them alight. Seemingly unaware that she was being recorded, Ndlovu told the men she would show them where her sister lives, then hike back. Ndlovu told the hitman she checked herself into the hospital 2 days before in an attempt to create an alibi.
So let's pass out, but saying being 4. So Lana no manga figure 5, 6, 7, as long as so
the news of her sister's passing would find her in a hospital bed. She would then head home and begin claiming insurance policies.
Next week, next week. As it's Friday. Next week.
She said she would claim for her sister. Killing the 5 children would be eliminating any witnesses. After showing them Joyce's house, the trio dropped her off at a taxi rank where she was arrested. The former Thembisa South Police constable is said to have targeted 6 of her family members, including her partner, sister, nephews, claiming about 1.4 million rands in insurance payout in the period between 2012 and 2018. Her frail mother was among those targeted, but the hired hitman got cold feet when he arrived at her house. She's set to testify in her daughter's defense. Ndlovu will take the stand on Tuesday. For News from Africa on Channel 405, I'm Ndlovu at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court.
Most one, each I say 4, ingena 7 or 12, each I say 4. I could say I stay loco, Kotsika, ku melele nkinga kwala kakawe. Anga swi kota ku ku pfuna na. Loko anga swi kota ku nipfuna. Ani menteka swa ku u la ku tiva swa mu tshame njhani isesi. Loko va nga swi kota ku nipfuna hinkwavo vaakhelani va mina kumbe na va rhandzana.
It shocked her when suddenly, during the day, police arrived at her home in the company of her sister.
Voina la hi teka wewe says Joyce. Vanhu lava tivana vito ra mehe njhani vanhu ku tlase siyime la fasitireni ma ku vona la sofe na mitshameko a yime hi kwala tikhegetelinyana hi la khumbini kwala ka fasitiri u ni langutisa nga zanga ni pfuxerile ena ni languta tikomba kwata ma swi vona ku ni munhu ka kwatile ma vona na matihlo na nomo swa tikomba nge ku tivutiseni swa ku swiyo yini ku humelela yini ene se sanga ni pfuxeli ku femani ma swi vona se va ri wa mitiva lwena ni ri na mitiva va ri njhani ni ri sesi va ku njhani ni ku me ni landzela ye i wa 1975 me ni wa 1980 va ku na ni ku se va byela lavan'wana ke kombela mu yisa movheni se la na tivutisa ku heli se va ri se Joyce na pfumela va ku xita xi nga hi tisala ka wena namuntlha na no ku a ni tivi nchumu tanihileswi ni nga mi byela no ku a yi khale ni taka hi le kaya ku keleni ka makhemati a ni tivi nchumu mehe swa ku na vayeni va ku fana na n'wina a ni nga swi tivi ma swi vona loko se Joyce namuntlha a wu fa na vana va wena 9 o'clock sesi wa ku xavele petroli sesi wa xave na cold drink a yi chele leswi a nga yi chela swilo swa ti-drugs swa ku la loko mi tshwa mi nga twi nchumu ma swi vona se leswi ni ve swi nyika ankinga ngopfu nokushana ilata endlala yini so swa ku fana sweswo henhleni ka mehe wa ku fana na mi ke ni ngo hluphekela na vana lava a lava ku ndla na voho no va kurisa hi ku hlupheka ni famba ni rima masin'wini ya vanhu.
Joyce lived in fear in the subsequent months. 3 years later, she finds herself on the witness stand, doing what she never thought she would do, testifying against her own sister.
So loko ngena court nguvona utitwe njani?
Loko ni vona mbilu ya mehe yi ve na ku n'wi filela sorry mara ni tlhanu kexa namuntlha ni fanele ka misava leyi ni nga ha ri kona na vana va me va nga ha ri kona la ka leyi misava na xin'wanana xa ka xi nga pfuni nchumu buti xi ri na 7 months a xi ta va xi fe ku vava.
Joyce and her mother live in the same street. Separate is their views on this matter. Her mother refused to speak to us, but kept on referring to how heartbroken she was by this matter. The old lady testified in her daughter's defense in the High Court last month.
So, wena na mana wena minjani sweswi loko kwendlakala leswi relationship ya n'wina ya ha ri kahle?
Me ka me kahle ni nga tivi ka yena. Me ka me kahle.
Ma vonana?
A vonana.
Mi vulavula loko a huma court?
Loko a ta vuya ni yile la kaya ku vana lava va lwi va Ivona na Rana va sale na mina.
The laughter of her youngest son clouds the atmosphere at her home. He runs around oblivious to the tragedy that has rocked his family. This is a safe haven, his mother says, away from anything or anyone who could hurt the young man. To this day, Joyce prays for her sister Rosemary's change of heart. For News from Africa on Channel 405, I'm Ndlovu in Pushback Ridge.
The
witness is sworn in.
Thank you, Mrs. Musole. You may testify seated.
Mingatsama hansi.
Okay. Now, at the time when Brilliant Mashehu had passed away and the body was discovered on the 24th of January, did you see the accused at Bushbuck Ridge on the 23rd of January, the day before the body was discovered?
No, angazange abekona nomia ye yavuya vayevavuya suku leri mundzuku Brilliant angahluwa.
The day when Brilliant went missing, the 22nd of January 2018, was the accused in Bushbuck Ridge according to you?
Angakona.
We start with this story. Former police officer Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu is pleading innocence. She denies arranging the murders of her family members for insurance payouts. Alleged hitmen Njabulo Kunene and Lakiwe Mkize said she gave the orders for the murders, but Ndlovu denies telling them to murder her sister and her 5 children. She says she doesn't know why Kunene and Mkize would give false testimony.
No, my lord. There was no time when I sat with Lakiwe Mkize, that is Njebe, and Jabulo Kunene. There was no time that the 3 of us sat in Thembisi's house and asked, and I said to have asked Lakiwe Mkize and Njebe to go and kill Nomasondo in Pumulo. There was no such a time. That never happened.
Hiku shakusungula Njebe Nomasondo angamutivi nala Nomasondo athamako angamutivi.
Firstly, I'm saying this because firstly, this Njebe did not know Nomasonto, and he did not even know the place of residence of this Nomasonto.
Ndlovu is disputing the two alleged hitmen's version of events. Kunene and Mkhize say she took them to Bushbuck Ridge to show them her sister's house, but Ndlovu allegedly wanted the two men to set the house alight and burn her sister Joyce and her 5 children alive.
My Lord, given that his version is that we hitchhiked to Bushbuck Ridge and we arrived there during the day. So if that is true, I would have been with him in that rural place, in that area, in the streets there. We would be walking in those streets, and I'm sure that there are people who know me. They would have identified me. They could have seen me if indeed I was in that area with ENCA on that day. There are kids and people playing around in the street. People playing around, kids playing around and people walking about in the rural place. So I would have been seen by people there who know me.
You said told this court that indeed after you arrived at Fulamahashi, after you showed him your mother's house, he went there, he found your mother who was sitting and your sister, and he asked for water. And he was given the water, and there was also a child. And then after that he left, he came back to you, inform you that in the house there was your mother, your sister, and the child. And you handed him 1,600 rand. You gave him 1,600 rand, and you asked for 200 rand for the chicks for you to come back to house.
18. Remember that the accused before court is convicted of murder, 6 counts of murder that is premeditated. And so in terms of the law, the ordained sentence is life imprisonment. So from here, we're moving to the stage where we need to bring up arguments in aggravation of sentence, and the defense as well has to bring the arguments in mitigation of sentence. And if there are any substantial or compelling circumstances that warrants a deviation, the court may do so. But as the NPA, obviously, we will be arguing for a sentence of life imprisonment.
Ndlovu remained focused while listening to the judgment. She did not react to the many cameras that were constantly in her face. Pre-sentencing procedures are expected to take place on the 5th of November. Hasina Gori, SABC News, Palm Ridge.
In the last 89 years, this country has not observed similar situations such as your case.
It's been almost 90 years since the country saw a case like this. After years of maintaining her innocence, Judge Ramaruma Monama found that Rosemary Ndlovu was indeed responsible for the death of her close relatives. These include her sister, nephew, niece, cousin, and a boyfriend.
Accused is found guilty on count 1, that's murder of Madala Homo. Count 2, that is murder of Sumisa Ndlovu, or 3. Count 7, Yingwane Morris Mabasa. Count 9, Zanele Mota. Count 10, the death of Mashaba.
Ndlovu was also found guilty of tampering with the crime scene after she removed evidence from the scene where her sister's body was found. She was also convicted of 4 counts of defrauding insurance companies. Much of the state's case relied on circumstantial evidence.
It was a very, very difficult case. It was not easy to prove it. Remember, I didn't have direct evidence to prove it. Yeah. And It was based on circumstantial. So I look at the manner that this thing was happening. Then I became suspicious. And from that, I didn't look back. I went forward up until I compiled all the documents. Then I arrested the suspect, brought it to court, and today I'm happy I'm done. She's been found guilty.
Ndlovu was also charged for the attempted murder of her mother and conspiring to have her sister and children burnt alive. She was arrested during a sting operation in 2018.
Remember that the accused before court is convicted of murder, 6 counts of murder that is premeditated. And so in terms of the law, the ordained sentence is life imprisonment. From here, we're moving to the stage where we need to bring up arguments in aggravation of sentence, and the defense as well has to bring the arguments in mitigation of sentence. And if there are any substantial or compelling circumstances that warrants a deviation, the court may do so. But as the NPA, obviously, we will be arguing for a sentence of life imprisonment.
Ndlovu remained focused while listening to the judgment. She did not react to the many cameras that were constantly in her face. Pre-sentencing procedures are expected to take place on the 5th of November. Hasina Gori, SABC News, Palm Ridge.